Hello, world. Welcome to episode 48 of the Jimmy Canz Show. It's prediction time, Rod.
Welcome, world.
It is Survivor Series. The Thanksgiving tradition continues, coming to you live from Orlando, Florida, Amway Center in the Thunderdome.
Beyond. Now, when are we going to go beyond Thunderdome?
After this, because they're getting evicted.
There it is.
Basically, I mean, from my understanding, like their agreement with Amway is done at the end of this month because the NBA season is right around the corner again, and they're not planning on doing the bubble this time. They're actually planning on playing in their
capacity,
real arenas. So obviously that means that the Thunderdome got to go.
So beyond Thunderdome, are they going to be outside next? That's beyond Thunderdome.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the heck's happening anymore, to be honest with you. So, like I said, the Thanksgiving tradition continues because, they announced teams as we lead into this, and then last night they changed it again.
Okay.
They announced matches, and last night they changed it again. So
hot.
The Thanksgiving tradition continues.
It's hot right now.
Yeah. So let's get into it a little bit here. Right out of the gate, we will discuss the champion versus champion match. The Raw champion, the United States champion, Bobby Lashley, taking on SmackDown's Intercontinental champion, Sami Zayn.
Well, contrary to where I thought would happen when it first started, the Hurt business is getting some pretty good traction these days.
Yes, they are.
Traction these days. I think this is going to be another brick in that wall they're trying to build of the Hurt business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going with Bobby Lashley with the victory over Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one. The only way that I see it going some way differently, and like I said, this is just, thinking outside the box a little bit on this one,
yes,
is if Retribution gets involved.
Yes.
If Retribution gets involved and Sammy, does, the heel thing and, scoops up the victory because of Retribution. But
barring that.
I'm still going to go with Lashley on this one. So we are in agreement on this one.
Gotcha.
So next out of the gate, or not out of the gate, but next up, we'll discuss the first of two traditional elimination Survivor Series matchups. This is the women's Survivor Series matchup representing Raw. We have Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke. Oh, no, wait. Nope. They changed that.
Uh-oh.
Now we have Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, Lana, and the women's tag team champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And then on the SmackDown side of things, right now we only have 3 of the 5 combatants known.
And 2 agents.
And
we
that
have
is
2
Bianca
agents and 3
Belair.
wrestlers.
What?
2 agents and 3 wrestlers.
Yes. That's
Two
Bianca
matches,
Belair and the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riot. Who they're going to be joined with, I don't know. Looking at the SmackDown women's roster right now, pickings are slim.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I mean, I really don't think it's going to be Bayley. Just coming off the long title reign, doesn't make a lot of sense to put her in the mix here. Carmella's kind of started feuding with Sasha already. And then after that, you got, Natalya, who already didn't qualify, Tamina, who already didn't qualify. So I don't know if they want to turn around and throw them in there. I don't know. Like I said, the SmackDown women's roster is kind of thin, in my opinion. So,
well, and looking at this matchup, it looks like the Raw team should beat whatever combination they come up with just off of, looking at who's on which side, looking at what's there. But I'm going to pick the SmackDown team.
Yeah,
I think they need it more.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is you've also got dissension in the ranks on the Raw team.
Gotcha.
All right, with Nia and Shayna constantly, beating up Lana.
Yes.
I mean, what has it been, like 2 months in a row? Every episode of Raw, Nia puts Lana through a table every Monday night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, are they going to implode? you know, and that is what leads to
But
Plus, SmackDown's got the element of surprise.
Yes, yeah, that's true. I'm gonna pick SmackDown though because I think, in addition to that, I really think like with the roster being so thin, like they need it's some stars over on that Raw side. If you look, some established stars. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It'd be good to get some of these people a rub.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm gonna actually. I mean, like I said, there's dissension. But I'm gonna go with Raw on this one. And it's the only reason I'm going with Raw on this one is because of what I've got in my head for later in the night. Gotcha. So,
and that little teaser there.
Little teaser, yeah. So next up, another champion versus champion matchup. Got the Raw Tag Team Champions, the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins. You need a minute? I'll go first.
Yeah. Help me out.
I'm gonna go with Raw on this one as well. I'm gonna go with New Day. Like I said, I think it's that's gonna be 3 in a row for Raw. To start the show off, but it's. Like I said, there's a method to my madness.
Okay.
But that's where I'm going.
So I will keep it interesting, and I'll go with the Street Profits. SmackDown Street Profits. I'm looking at this show. The more I look at it as a rub or a star builder, a legitimacy kind of a Survivor Series opportunity to make some legitimacy out of some and add to your roster star power. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with Street Profits based on that. They're a pretty hot team right now too.
Yeah, I mean both are pretty hot teams right now, to be honest. So
exactly.
I mean it could kind of go either way, but like I said, I'm gonna go with New Day on this one. I mean, like I said, you'll kind of see why as we get into the show here a little bit. So
okay.
Next, let's discuss another champion versus champion. On the Raw side, the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, taking on the SmackDown Women's Champion, the boss, Sasha Banks.
Well, this one to me is now. This one to me is pretty easy. Mm-hmm. I feel like Asuka gets this one because you got Asuka alone can beat Sasha, and then there's brewing rivalry with Bayley, potentially, engaged in the contest too. So I think it's a lot stacked against Sasha by default and by potential.
Yeah, and like I said, you've also got Carmella, that's 2 weeks in a row against Sasha.
Yes.
And everything. So I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going with Asuka as well. So right at this point, we got a Raw. For me, I got a Raw sweep so far.
I see it's blood red over there.
Yeah, but
flames.
Like I said, there's a method to my madness. You'll see. So next up, another champion versus champion, representing Raw, new WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, taking on the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Universal Champion, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns walks away with the victory.
Yeah, I think that happens as well. I also think, I think there could be, some shenanigans in this one, which obviously will still make Drew look strong. Randy Orton could get involved, or, the Usos could get involved. Paul Heyman can get involved. So there's a lot of different,
It's an uphill battle.
What?
It's an uphill battle for Drew.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for Drew. So, Drew can take the loss here and not look weak. So this is, I got SmackDown getting one here. And I think it could also play into, like I said, if there is some shenanigans and everything, could this play into a cash-in by Miz?
Or over Drew McIntyre, too.
Yes. I mean, well, here's the thing. Could it play into, will the cash-in be successful? A, will he cash in? And B, will it be successful?
Okay, want to have a side? Want to put a little side on that?
We could.
That's what we do here. That's what we do here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Miz cashes it. Tries to come in and cash in on this, take advantage, of a down Drew McIntyre. And he hands the briefcase in, turns around, eats a Claymore, and loses.
I'm going to say Miz cashes in and walks away the new Raw champion at Survivor Series.
The new WWE champion, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm old. I still call it Raw and SmackDown champion. I'm sorry. Yes, but I see that, and what really kind of makes me feel that way is Drew just had the belt twice, really quickly.
Well, not really quick. I mean, he won it at Mania, held it all through the summer and stuff like it, drops it at Cell last month, but then he turns around and gets it right back here.
And that's the really quickly I mean. He regained it really quickly. So I don't see a problem with him dropping it again right now under these circumstances.
I just hate hot potato in a belt.
I hate it.
Especially one of the prestige of the WWE Championship.
But you said something that really drives home my belief that they'll do this. I think they still want Drew to receive a coronation in front of a crowd at some point.
I mean, you do have to an extent. I mean, you are kind of seeing reactions now with all those screens, and so you're getting people's reactions. And here's a side bet on the whole thing. All right. If your premonition comes to a court and Miz does successfully cash in, do they put the Miz girl's face on every monitor? Angry Miz girl.
Hey, you know what? Now I know it's gonna happen. Now I know it's gonna happen. Now I know for sure that Miz is winning. Now I know for sure. Hey, the Miz. You can put Miz up here. You put him up here on the actual the layout up here. Now I know for sure.
Yes. And last but not least, the men's Survivor Series matchup. Team Raw, represented by the phenomenal AJ Styles, Limitless Keith Lee, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, and the original Bro, Riddle, taking on the SmackDown team, represented by the Messiah Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Kevin Owens, and the last spot is not yet filled. And here is my guess on the last spot. So we're going to do another side bet on this one. The $1 Million Man will show up and announce the mystery man to be accompanied to the ring by his manager, Brother Love, The Undertaker. As this is the final farewell of The Undertaker. You got one spot left to fill. He made his debut as a mystery man, and he will make his exit as the mystery man.
If it comes true, SmackDown wins.
Yes.
And I think either way it goes, SmackDown is planning a big ace to win. I like that. You're probably right. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. But just to give your listeners something else to play around with. I'm going Team SmackDown. Big part of the reason is that dumb shirt that Braun Strowman's wearing these days. And I think that the special guest member is Goldberg.
Goldberg?
Goldberg. I'm calling Goldberg back.
Calling
him back.
Calling that, huh?
But I call him back. I like, just to give him something different. I think it's going to be The Undertaker. I like The Undertaker angle, but just to throw out another possibility. And to make us not be, I think we got enough differences of picks, but just to be different here too.
I mean, I get the symbolism that they're going with here, in making, this the final farewell of The Undertaker, because Survivor Series, he debuted at Survivor Series 30 years ago, et cetera, et cetera. But it makes me a little sad too, in the fact that he has to go out without a crowd, a real crowd. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have the monitors, you know what I mean? Like, everything he did for the business, he deserves to have that final bow in front of people. You know,
he shouldn't have came back that one time after WrestleMania when he put the hat in the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I mean, here's the thing with it. It's like, you know, he really thought that was going to be the end based on how he felt physically. You know what I mean? At that point in time, you know, he struggled through that thing and he figured, he's like, I'm done. Then he had the surgery, and after the surgery, he's like, oh, I feel pretty good. You know, because I can't go out with a performance like that, and that's what pulled him back in. I think he's finally at a point where he's satisfied. You know,
for now.
No, I really do think. I think, you know, that Boneyard match wasn't what they envisioned. You know, originally, obviously, you know, with the pandemic, they had to turn around and change things up, and it was going to be a regular match against AJ, you know, in the stadium, but then they had to, you know, figure out. But it was a perfect kind of culmination. It was an amalgamation of, you know, all of his characters, you know what I mean, through the years, and it just kind of all played out well. And, you know, I think it was just like that final period at the end. It doesn't make any sense to come back for any reason at this point, in my opinion. I think he's satisfied, you know what I mean? Like, he realizes, you know, I don't think it's going to get better than that right now. So, you know, he comes back and it's not as good as that, then it's the vicious cycle again. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I got to come back one more time, and I got to come back. You know what I mean? Till I think he's finally at peace with, you know, with
it should be a good match because he's not alone. Like, it's 9 other guys helping to make this match pop.
Right, and that's the thing, is like, he can come out and do it. I mean, he just has to do a couple of spots. He's not going to really have to work a match, you know, and everything. So between that and then, like I said, if he comes out here, you know, all he's got to do is, you know, do old school, do a sit-up, and do a tombstone.
Yeah.
You know,
on the smallest guy. Lee, who's the smallest guy on that Raw team?
AJ.
Yeah. And they got history.
Yeah.
Boneyard match history. So
yeah. So like I said, he that's all he's got to do. You know, are those couple of spots, and then
just don't grab Braun for the tombstone. Whatever you do, just don't grab Braun for the tombstone.
Well, I don't think he's gonna do. I mean, if he did anything with Braun, you know, I think it would be
old school.
It would be an old school or a choke slam.
Yeah. I would like just don't grab Braun for the tombstone.
Right. So like I said, there it is. You know, it's not an incredibly big card, you know, but you've got some longer matches because the elimination matches should be a good show. What do we got? Next month is TLC.
Should be a good match.
TLC to discuss.
Should be a good
and
card.
Then what do you think, Rod? You want to do a college bowl season show?
We got to.
Okay. All right. So next month we'll do a college bowl season show. Those are going to be interesting. Like, we might have to do that I might have to kind of do a 2-parter on that, because I think the first bowl game, according to the schedule that they've released, is the same Saturday as a lot of conference championship games. So a lot of, you know, the New Year's 6 and all that kind of stuff aren't going to be announced until the following day. So a lot of the bowl matchups you aren't going to know until after that, but there's going to be one bowl game before all that. So we might have to kind of just be like, okay, we'll do one off, we'll discuss this first bowl game, and then we'll come back and we'll do all the other ones, kind of thing.
And depending on how bad it is, we may skip it and just recap it.
What was that?
I said, depending on how bad it is, we may be able to just skip it and recap it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll look and see. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, have you looked at any of the bowl projections? No. It's like some of them, I don't understand what the people are smoking, to be honest with you. Because the funny thing with it is they're projecting teams into bowl games right now that are like 2 and 4.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you don't have that much of a season left. You have to have a win. Why are you putting 2 and 4 teams into bowl games?
Because they at Florida State, they're talking about us maybe playing a bowl game. Like, no, we need to get off season. We need to start recruiting.
Mm-hmm. But the funny thing, I mean, it's like it's some of the teams too. It's like one of the teams I saw that they projected into a bowl game was South Carolina. They just fired their coach. They're 2 and 6. They just fired their coach. They're imploding, and they project them into a bowl game. Why?
It's too many bowls. It's 2020. It's a pandemic.
Well, here's the thing though. Not a lot of the bowl games have been canceled already. There's not going to be any Quick Lanes Bowl. There's not going to be any Bahamas Bowl. There's not going to be any Hawaii Bowl. There's not going to be any Redbox Bowl. There's not going to be. So a lot of these bowl games have already been, canceled this year.
Which conferences didn't play this year?
What was that?
Which conferences chose not to play this year? Which conferences chose not to play this year?
Actually, they're all playing now.
But some of them didn't. Which one started last? I know the Big Ten. Who else?
It was the Pac-12 started the latest.
And did any other, like the Mid-Americas, choose not to play?
Yeah, and the MAC and the Pac started, I think, at the same time. So I mean, but everybody's playing. All the FBS conferences are playing now. So the last kind of holdout was the MAC, and then they finally have come.
I don't know why so many bad teams are getting bowls. I don't know what the difference is than any other year. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think they need to do away with some of the conference affiliation, especially for like the more premier bowl games. Like your New Year's Sixes, like when they're not part of the playoff picture, they try to hold true to their old conference tie-ins, and it makes for some pretty bad matchups sometimes, in my honest opinion. I mean, what was the last year? Virginia Tech was the ACC runner-up last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were in a New Year's Six bowl because they were the runner-up, and they did not deserve to be in a New Year's Six bowl.
Awful team.
It's like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how things play out here. I mean, you got games getting canceled now. You've got cases increasing and stuff like that. Like, who knows if we're even going to make it through the remainder of the season. But if we do, we'll come to you and we'll let you know what we think. Give the channel a like, a share, a subscribe, wherever you are.
It's one of our best shows. That college football playoff show is one of our best shows of the year, highest viewed shows. So,
yep.
It's a lot of fun, y'all. Y'all check it out.
Yep. So, be well to one another, and we will see you when we see you.